Hello grown-ups. Are you already starting to think about the summer holidays and how to keep the kids busy? Yeah, I thought you might. Today's podcast is brought to you by Kellogg'S football camps, a brilliant solution for families looking to keep kids active, having fun and building confidence this summer. With camps for girls and boys aged 5 to 15, Kellogg'S are offering over 39,000 free places at sessions hosted by over 70 pro football clubs across the UK, from Colchester to Cardiff, Glasgow to London. It's a great chance for kids to get out, to play football and make new friends over the summer break. To book a free place, just buy a promotional Kellogg'S football camps pack and scan the QR code to choose a club near you. T's and C's apply, subject to availability. Welcome to the Football for Kids podcast with me, Darren Rees. It's day 2 of this very special Kellogg'S football camps Super Week. Day 1 was, of course, the history, the story, the journey of Coventry City Football Club, who, as we record this today, are well on their way to the Premier League. Will they get there? We'll have to wait and find out. In this episode, we are going to explore the life and journey of a tremendous player, a player who was wonderful in the EFL, a player who is wonderful in the Premier League, a player who goes by the name of Morgan Gibbs-White. So, let's get straight into it, shall we? Now, I want you to picture a little boy in Staffordshire, the United Kingdom, and wherever he goes, there's a football. The kitchen, a football. The garden, well, a football. Balcony, football. Hallway, you get the picture. He probably even tried to sneak one into bed. That boy is, of course, Morgan Gibbs-White. Born on the 27th of January 2000, and from the very start, it felt like football wasn't just something he did, it was a part of who he was. His dad tells a story that as soon as Morgan could walk, like stand up and take a mini step, he was already kicking a football. Now that sounds adorable, until you imagine the chaos at home. Keepy uppies in the living room, smash. Shots off a sofa, crack. And you can bet that there were a few ornaments that were in danger. His mum must have been thinking, my goodness, not only are we raising a footballer, but a massive future house repair bill at the same time. But those early moments mattered. Every little touch, every dribble around, every bit of furniture, every kick in the park. It was all building his control, his confidence, his feel for the game. More touches you have on the ball, the better you get. It's as simple as that. Then it said came his first team, a team called Stafford Juniors, and this is where things got interesting. Morgan didn't just settle into his age group. Oh no. As the story goes, after just a few sessions, coaches were saying, right, you're moving up. And he kept getting pushed into older age groups because the age groups which he was in just didn't seem to be testing him enough. He was playing against bigger, stronger kids and still standing out. By the end of his first full season, he was playing 2 years above his age group, which at that age is quite big. Imagine being one of the youngest on the pitch and still he's the one that everyone is watching. That takes bravery, it takes skill and a bit of cheek as well, but polite cheek. But the most important thing it said is that his parents did a wonderful job of keeping him grounded. No pressure, no big speeches or any of that malarkey, just one simple rule. Make sure you enjoy it. And because of that, Morgan didn't just get better, he stayed in love with the game. Because if there's no passion, there's no point. Scouts were just starting to circle, whispers were growing, and one question that kept popping up around Stafford was, who on earth is that kid? He is unbelievable. Every football journey has that one moment though, when someone important spots you. For Morgan Gibbs-White, it came at a youth tournament in a place called Perkridge. Picture the scene, will you? Loads of matches going on, parents shouting from the sidelines. You've seen them before. Whistles were blowing all over the place. Proper grassroots chaos. And right in the middle of it was Morgan Gibbs-White, just gliding through games, scoring goals and taking players on and making it look easy. He was playing with a confidence that makes people stop, look twice and then not be able to take their eyes off of you. It didn't take long for the academy star from Wolverhampton Wanderers, aka Wolves, to notice him. And because of that, the opportunity knocked and Morgan answered the door. Suddenly, things stepped up. This wasn't park football anymore. This was academy football. Faster, sharper, more demanding football. Better players all around him, but instead of shrinking, Morgan grew into it. Year after year, he moved through the age groups, learning, adapting, competing with some of the best young players in the country. Then came a big challenge. At around 13 or 14 years old, his body changed quickly. He had longer legs, different balance, everything slightly out of sync to what he was used to. Imagine trying to dribble when your body suddenly doesn't feel so familiar, like you've borrowed someone else's legs for the day or the week. For a lot of players, that's where the confidence dips. That's where it really starts to disappear. But Morgan pushed through it. He kept working, kept adjusting, kept improving. That mindset, that quiet determination started to become a big part of who he was as a young man and as a player. Alongside academy life, it's said he attended Thomas Telford School, a place known for producing top young athletes. The level there was seriously high, with players connected to big clubs across the country. And still, it's said that Morgan really did stand out. Not just for his skill, but for the way that he saw the game. The way that he had this football IQ, which was quite incredible. Coaches often talk about players who can see pictures before they happen, spotting passes early, reading the play, thinking one step ahead of everybody else. Even at that age, even as a youngster, Morgan was doing exactly that. And that was a mix of talent, confidence, and a brilliant personality. He wasn't just a promising kid anymore, he was becoming something quite serious. For Morgan Gibbs-White, it all happened very quickly though. 1 minute he was playing youth football, the next he's training with the first team at Wolverhampton Wanderers. That's a big jump, like going from riding a bike in the park to racing in the Tour de France. But Morgan didn't look out of place, not even a bit. He looked like he belonged. Then came a huge moment. It was the 7th of January 2017 to be precise, and it was in the FA Cup. It was Wolves versus Stoke City. Morgan was 16 years old, just 16. Most kids that age are worrying about their GCSEs. He's about to step onto a professional football pitch, and he came on as a substitute. That day, his heart must have been pounding. His legs were ready though, and so was his mindset. Wolves won 2-0. And just like that, Morgan was a top player playing for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Unbelievable stuff. A few weeks later, he made his league debut too, stepping into the rough and tumble of the championship. Bigger players, stronger tackles, faster pace, and it was a welcome to men's football. And even though injuries limited how many games he could play that season, people had already seen enough. He picked up the club's Academy Player of the Year award. It was a massive sign that he was on the right path to glory. There were other little pinch-me moments too, like being part of a squad for a famous FA Cup win at Liverpool at Anfield. Imagine that, walking into one of the most famous stadiums in the world. Like, yeah, I belong here and I'm a teenager for goodness sake. And by 2018, Wolves made it official. A long-term contract was signed. A clear message. You're not just a prospect anymore. You're part of the future. Coaches loved his confidence, his energy, his willingness to demand the ball even from the older pros. No fear, no hiding, just getting stuck in. Morgan Gibbs-White wasn't knocking on the door anymore. He was walking straight through it. Just as Morgan Gibbs-White was starting to break into senior football, something massive came his way. A call-up for England, the men's national team. Well, the under-17 side anyway. He was getting asked to go to the under-17 World Cup in India. But here's the twist. He'd only just come back from a bit of an injury. He barely played much football because of the injury. Most players would be easing themselves back in, trying to find their rhythm again. Instead, Morgan was heading to a World Cup. No warm-up, no easing in, straight into the fire, straight into the tournament, straight into a competition. And he didn't just sit on the sidelines either and was a bit of a handy-to-have kind of job. Game by game, he grew into the tournament, getting sharper, more confident, more involved. By the time the knockout stages came round, he was right in the middle of it all. Trusted in the big moments he was. Then came a final against Spain, and in front of more than 66,000 fans, it said. Imagine that noise and that pressure. England go 2-0 down early on. Oh no, what a nightmare. At that point, a lot of teams crumble. Their hopes and dreams go flying out the window. But this team didn't. They fought back. 1 goal, 2-1. Then came a moment that changed everything. A low ball into the box. Morgan Gibbs-White arriving at just the right time. Calm as you like. Taps it in. 2-2. The game was flipped. And so was the confidence. Suddenly, England believed they could win it. Because if you don't believe you can do something, you ain't ever going to do it. And Spain started to wobble because they knew how much England believed. What followed was quite incredible. 3 more goals. Not 1, not 2, 3 of them. The game finished 5-2. England were under-17 world champions. For Morgan, it was a huge statement. Coming off an injury, stepping onto the world stage at a youth level, which is fair enough, and delivering in the biggest game of his career so far. That tells you everything you need to know about his mindset, his belief, his personality. And when he returned home to the Midlands, he wasn't just a promising young player anymore, he was a under-17 World Cup winner. Not bad for a lad who used to kick a ball around in the house and break a few of his mum's ornaments. Hey. After becoming a world champion, Morgan Gibbs-White returned to Wolverhampton Wanderers, and he was flying. They were dominating in the championship at this point, winning games, climbing the table, and soon they were heading to the Premier League, the big time, the best and most competitive league in the whole wide world. Morgan's Premier League debut came in August 2018 against Everton, against the Toffees. Just think about that. From youth football and a under-17 World Cup win to playing against some of the best players on the planet in one of the toughest leagues in the world. And when he got his chance, even if it was a short one, he made people notice. With his quick feet, his energy and his confidence. He looked like he belonged, like he was meant to be there. In one game against Tottenham Hotspur, even in defeat, people were still talking about him, about Morgan Gibbs-White. Then came a big moment, his Premier League start against Chelsea, where he set up a goal in a famous 2-1 win. That's the kind of moment young players dream about their entire lives, and Morgan Gibbs-White, he put it into reality. But here's the truth about top-level football. It's tough, like really tough. Wolves have experienced midfielders, they got experienced defenders, experienced blooming everything. Players who control the game week in, week out, breaking into the team constantly. It wasn't easy for Morgan Gibbs-White. He played plenty of matches, but often he would be on the bench, coming on late, trying to make an impact. And without regular minutes, it's hard to find your rhythm. It's hard to build the momentum that you need to play at the top level of English football. Unfortunately for him, the following season brought more of the same. He featured in the Europa League though, travelling across Europe. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Were Wolves in the Europa League? They were at one point, so have some of that. He was gaining experience, learning what elite football demands. He even scored his first senior goal for the club in a European match. A big personal milestone to say the least. But still, he couldn't quite nail down a starting spot, regular enough football. And by 2020, one thing became clear. If Morgan Gibbs-White was going to become the player everyone believed that he could be, he needed something new. He needed a fresh challenge, a chance to prove himself. And I think that's the perfect place to leave part 1 in this 2-part episode on Morgan Gibbs-White, one of the most talented players in the country. So join me next time as we explore the rest and the final part of his story all the way up to the current day. And remember, if you know someone who loves football just as much as you do, then please tell them about the Football for Kids podcast. And whether you're playing football soon, watching it on the telly or pitch side, I hope that you enjoy the game. See you next time. Oh, and don't forget, the Kellogg'S football camps are back.